He understands the time, the score, and the situation. He's always going to be in the big moments.
Steph comes off screens, he catches, and he shoots, and he's one of the greatest shooters ever. And what he's been able to do for this generation of play and the way he's won with it has been different than anybody else has ever tried to do it.
I have to say that these words coming from one of the most iconic NBA point guards sum up our entire video. In the world of basketball, everyone bows down to Steph for revolutionizing the game. Before Steph, everyone had to work their way into the area to score, and not many fancy shots from long distances, but it soon changed. Drafted by the Golden State Warriors in 2009 at number 7, Steph has worked his way to be among the NBA greats. With 4 NBA championships and 2 MVP awards under his belt, including a unanimous one, he's a true legend of the game. From first glance, when he entered the NBA, everyone didn't think a small guy like him could even survive in the league. But they were quick to forget how a small PGs like Isaiah Thomas dominated, and Steph followed that path. According to Charles Barkley, he's in the same class as Thomas.
I'll give you Isaiah or Steph as your point guard.
Well, I thought that when Steph won the championship this year, that moved him to the table with Isaiah. I moved him to the table. When you look at levels in the Hall of Fame, this moved him to the table with Isaiah Thomas.
Sure, he might be on the same table as Thomas, but maybe not in terms of physicality. But what Steph lacks in sheer strength, he makes up for with his incredible shooting. His range is next to none in the league, and he's made history as the first player ever to score at least 10,000 points solely from three-pointers. Standing at just 6'3", Steph might not be the tallest guy on the court, but he's got the skills. Even among giants like LeBron James and Kevin Durant, Steph shines bright as the best shooter of his generation.
You have a little fear, and not from like you're scared of a guy, but just not knowing what he's going to do. What I love about Steph is obviously all the highlights we see for him coming down, shooting these 50-footers. But what I love about him is his ability to give the ball up, the ability to play off the ball, his ability to pass the ball with both hands, and also his ability to go in there and, like we talked about, he's a great finisher. People don't give him credit because we see the half-court shots that he make, but he's a great finisher with both hands. He takes contact well. So, I mean, this guy's phenomenal.
He sure is phenomenal, and Dwayne Wade wasn't just making baseless claims. Back when Steph was a rookie, weighing in at a mere 180 pounds, he was already making a name for himself with his smooth jump shot and unmatched confidence on the ball. Competing in his first ever three-point contest alongside NBA stars like Paul Pierce and Chauncey Billups, he was already showing signs of greatness, and he finished his rookie season with 166 three-pointers, which were the most ever by a rookie in NBA history. From then on, everyone began wondering, who is this guy making three-pointers look so easy? Season after season, he kept coming for Ray Allen's three-point record.
But this guy, Steph Curry, he's coming hard, already in the top 10. Where does he rank on your list of best shooters ever?
I think right now, from what I've seen, it's easy for me to say that he's the best that I've ever seen shoot. The way he plays the game, being a point guard that can handle the way he handles the ball and the way he can shoot the ball and the way he shoots it. And so these young kids are now growing up, and he's setting the bar for those young kids at the point guard position.
Even for the legendary sharpshooter himself, he knew his record stood no chance against Steph. That's how Steph developed his game and became a master at it. But don't let how easy it looks for Steph fool you. It is not an easy thing to do. Take it from a guy who has also held the three-points record.
I think there's only two guys, obviously, in the building tonight that kind of understand what has gone into the making of becoming, in my opinion, the greatest shooter of all time. Going to the gym, opening it up, turning on the lights, and putting up 1,000, 2,000 shots. That's Stephen Curry, that's Ray Allen, and that's Larry Bird, and that's a lot of these other guys. So
Reggie Miller has always been a Steph fan from day one, and he knew there was something special with Steph, and the Pacers legend always ranked him high up.
Do you agree when people say that Steph is the best shooter ever, ahead of a Reggie, ahead of a Ray Allen?
A little bit, because there's a lot of chapters left to be written in his book. Is he on his way? Is he certainly in the conversation? Absolutely. All the records he's already broken up to this point, and he's 27 years old, absolutely he's in that conversation.
Fast forward many years later, and Miller was right. Steph moved past him and Allen to claim the title of the greatest shooter in NBA history. Del Curry, who is one of Steph's greatest influences, couldn't have been more proud. The former NBA shooting guard was also a good shooter in his days, and Steph grew up wanting to be better. But Steph wouldn't have even made it to the NBA because he lacked the most important trait of all, height and physicality.
Absolutely, didn't meet the eye test. Played JV as a freshman, but when you came, he was a sophomore. Didn't get to play much, but he didn't meet the eye test. He had a big head, big hands, big feet. Body was nowhere matched to the way his hands and his feet and his head. He was just lanky, loose, but knew how to play, loved to play, didn't mind the work, could shoot it, always could shoot it, could handle it, knew the game, but just didn't meet the eye test.
But he is a serial competitor, and he didn't let that take away his shot at an NBA career, so he knew he had to do something, work on his long-range shooting. That way, he doesn't need to go into the arc any more than necessary. That was exactly what Golden State, a team with a history of great shooters, was banking on when they drafted him. He certainly made an impression early on at Golden State, and his teammates knew they had a gem with them.
I always knew it, as long as he just keep working, he was going to be good. Didn't think he was going to turn out to be like this, but he was definitely going to be successful. So everything that he got and everything that come his way, and kid don't want to take that from him.
Mona Ellis knew that, even though the Warriors traded him to make room for Steph, a move that didn't sit well with the Dubs fan base, as they couldn't believe that their main PG was now a slanky-looking guy. But the Warriors would be rewarded for their faith in Steph, as he was the cornerstone to one of the greatest dynasties in recent NBA history. On the court, he does things that even amaze opposing teams. Even Andre Iguodala can attest to that.
Drew was just going on about how hard it is to guard him. Are there any moments that stand out to you in terms of just like shot making?
So the first time we saw the peak of it, like when I was in Denver and we played him in a series, he shot a shot in front of the bench and the whole team went like, yo, I'd never seen that before during the game. But I'm such a competitor. I'm on the court. Like, I'm like, whatever. Like, I don't care. Like, that doesn't impress me. Like, that's just my competitive nature. But this one day in practice, man, Steph went crazy. Like, I mean, one time I got mad and like, I forgot he was on my team and pushed him. He still made the shot. I mean, we played about 7 minutes, man. He had to have like 25 points, man. It was crazy. And at one point, Sean Livingston just stopped. It was like, yo, like, I don't know if I ever seen anything like this.
Iguodala would later join the Warriors in 2013 with one goal in mind, winning a championship together with Steph. And we all know how that turned out. During that golden era of the Warriors from 2014 through 2018, we saw a different kind of monster in Steph's game. Steph's lethal combination of long-range shooting and ball-handling skills is unmatched by anyone in the present generation of NBA players. Iverson himself was known for his lightning-quick crossovers and fearless drives to the basket, but acknowledges Steph's evolution as a player.
But this dude right here, like, it's different. It's a whole different monster.
While Iverson was a volume shooter, Steph refined his game to become incredibly efficient, boasting impressive career field goal and three-point percentages that surpass Iverson's. To put it quite plainly, Steph was the backbone of Golden State. Despite all the trophies and accolades he's racked up, Steph keeps grinding every game like his career depends on it. And even when he broke the three-point record in the 2021-2022 season, he didn't slow down one bit in his three-point conversion and efficiency. He was building his way into a height that no one to date can reach. And who better to recognize Curry's greatness than Shaquille O'Neal himself?
He's been consistently the best shooter his whole career. I'm wondering, is it time to start putting him as the best player of all time?
Best player?
I'm gonna say.
Over, you put him over you?
In the conversation.
I'm asking you.
Yes.
You put him over you. You yourself put Steph Curry over you.
Yeah, this is why he's my favorite player.
That's a bold take from Shaq, who is also a four-time NBA champion like Steph. Shaq, like many other legends, has always been a fan of Steph, and maybe he was speaking from a fan point of view, but like he said, he has played 20 years and watched about 20 years before he started playing, and he hasn't seen a better shooter than Steph Curry.
I played 20 years, watched 20 years before that. I've never seen a guy like him, and he's doing it consistently, and he has championships.
And with over 3,000 three-pointers made and an impressive career stat line, it's hard to argue otherwise. It's also hard to argue with a guy who plays and trains with Steph that he improved his physicality over the past 3 years, or so when he returned after he missed the 2019-2020 season due to injury.
To keep it on Steph, we always hear about his insane work ethic. What is something that you can tell us about him that showcases how dedicated he is to his craft? Because we always see him do the routine that he do before the game and all that, but what's something that you've seen that you can tell us?
He's still Steph Curry, and he's still shooting the piss out the ball. But him getting as strong as he got has actually changed his game. It's actually made him much more effective. Like, you can't run him off his spot. You can't just bump him and he's falling over. He's getting to where he wants to go. His dedication in the weight room, when I say dedicate, that man is in the weight room every single day.
It became a nightmare for opponents to defend against him now, as he became the complete package: shooting, handling, off-ball movements, and now strength.
You just have to just know where he's at. He's just complete package offensively. He's so good at shooting the three, but he's just so good at getting open for layups. He's mastered, how to get free without dribbling the ball. He's just so elusive and quick. 1 second you look away, he's gone, or if you're not attached to him, he's gone. So it just takes, honestly, a whole, 5 players to just have an awareness of where he's at.
This is coming from Paul George, one of the best perimeter defenders in the NBA, and even the Clippers man had a hard time caging Steph. It was obvious that he was something else, and he was earning the respect of everyone.
I don't know that there's been a player that has influenced the game more than Steph.
Since I've been watching the game, the most influence on the game, Steph and Allen Iverson are the 2 biggest influential guys in our game since I've been watching and covering it.
Even LeBron James, a legend in this era, recognizes Steph's greatness and influence on the game. Steph is definitely a once-in-a-lifetime player. Speaking of which, Steph's rivalry with LeBron has captivated basketball fans for years. But despite their fierce on-court battles, both players have immense respect for each other's talents. It's interesting to note how LeBron's description of Steph mirrors the admiration that NBA writers and analysts have expressed toward LeBron himself over the years. The Warriors man possesses a level of greatness not matched by anyone in their generation. Sure, there are other top-tier players like James Harden, Joel Embiid, Nikola Jokic, Giannis Antetokounmpo, and the likes, but Steph just comes out over them. He has been consistent all his career, both in the regular season and in the playoffs. In the Dubs' last winning title season in 2022, he averaged a whopping 27.4 points per game in the postseason on the road to his 4th NBA championship, even clinching the NBA Finals MVP title. Steph was clinical all through the series, and most importantly, in the finals.
There's credit to Steph and what he did. What he did was pretty unbelievable. The Garden, such a hostile place like we talked about, and for him to be able to go in there and kind of take over that game in those moments. Once he did that, I remember that when we went back in the locker rooms, the way that I heard them celebrate as a team winning that game, at that moment it felt like they won the championship.
It's a breath of fresh air for Golden State whenever he's playing.
I talk about the word sicko all the time. I'd have a hard time not putting Steph as number 1. He's an absolute sicko. And whether you view Steph Curry as a hero or a villain, it's undoubtedly clear that he is an entertainer first. And I think he's the greatest show in basketball.
JJ Redick is also a huge Steph fan, and he just summed up Steph on a good day when he takes control of a game. He did stir up some controversy with his take on Steph's physicality compared to past great shooters like Larry Bird. JJ argued that Steph faces more physical defense in today's game, citing instances where Steph is constantly grabbed and held by defenders, whereas Bird often had more space to operate.
When I watch Steph Curry off the ball in a playoff game,
he's great.
Getting grabbed and held by Marcus Smart, they're attached to him at all times. Then when I watch Larry Bird come off a pin down and no one's within 5 feet of him and they're shooting the gap.
Well, that's how it's been for Steph. A small guy who has been brought into the same sentence as NBA. At 36 now, he is nearing the latter stages of his career, but it goes without saying that we will never see another Steph Curry or anything close to that. The man has reached a level no one before and probably no one after him will reach. But the question is, how much longer will Steph keep up his elite play? Now nearing age 37 next season. If he continues to play in his mid to late 30s like he did close to his peak, he might put the numbers so far out there that we may ask ourselves in the distant future why this guy wasn't put in the GOAT conversation sooner. So, where do you rank Steph all time?